Hey everyone, I'm LSL and I'm here to show you how to use the Reapho app, like the long-awaited tutorial of how to use that. And yeah, let's not take too much time on introduction, so let's get started. So in the first step, we need to click on Go to Reapho. In my case, I will create an account, but you can just log in if you already have one. All right, and hit sign up. And my account is created. All right, with our account created, we can become an author at first. So click on be an author, read that model, and click on become an author. And here you can add your nickname, profile picture, description, and some social medias down here. Right, so in my case will be, I already have one. Let me add one in here. Okay, and I'll add my profile picture. And a description like Reapho is the best comic reader. And let's just add one social media here. Reapho Instagram account in here. And what with everything set up, we can hit become an author. Then you will see here create comic and my profile. Let's go to my profile first. So here's our profile. We have the Instagram link here that I added, our nickname, that's the name, how many comics we have created, how many likes we have, and the description of our persona, like as author, right? All right, let's create a comic and understand how this process works. Okay, so here we are to create our comic. So let's add our comic name. I will add like my new comic on Reapho. Right, I'll add a category. It will be sci-fi, drama, and superhero. A short description. So I'm creating a comic with sound. I'll add the status that as complete. Talk about the reading mode. We have long strip that is for webcomics and things like that. Wide strip left to right, that is when you have like one single block that you scroll through the pages. We have single page left to right as well, that you can switch page bar by page, and the same stuff but double page left to right. If you're a manga creator, don't worry about that because we are working in a better way to display that kind of stuff because we already support more ways of reading, for instance, like right to left. But on this configuration, you're not able to make this config to work. But in the next few weeks, we'll probably fix that next week, I think, or the other one. I can't remember exactly our schedule. But anyway, um, content rating is a yes or no questions based on the content you have on your comic so far. This thing exists because we display the rating of your comics based on what you have decided. Because since we have many hating categorizations around the world and Reapho is a world app, we need to fit rules that may change between types of classification. So with these questions, you can answer what have on your work, and then we can show the proper rating classification based on reader's region. We will improve that, right? Because we are receiving some questions around this topic, and we know that this is very limiting. But so far that's what we have. In the future we'll add some more specific stuff like blood content related types of nudity and things like that. right? But here you can answer like rating of your content. And about images, you can add, we have the logo, square thumbnail, vertical thumbnail, and banner. So first things first, logo is the logo of your comic. So usually in this case, you can add like something like, I can add, for instance, something like that. That's the logo of Naruto. So that's what we expect to show in the logo place. People are asking us what are the aspect ratio and the resolution for these images. And right now I don't have this answer, but we are working to make a detailed tutorial of the sizes and radius of each of these images. Square thumbnail. This is a thumbnail for your actual work. In this case, I will use my profile picture because I don't have any other square image for Naruto. But this is kind of the profile picture of your work, you know? Vertical thumbnail is mostly the thumbnail we will show in our homepage and the library and the click on that we can have, right? So in my case, I will use the Naruto first volume, and on the banner, I will add like a bigger picture that will display in another places of the app. So it's not a square, it's, I don't know the aspect ratio about that, but we're working on improve that because it's very confusing so far. I completely agree. So I add the banner as well and hit create. Okay, and then second step of creating a work. Now it's the creating episode. So in my case, I have a specific episode of Naruto that I have in here to show the mapping part. So let's call this episode Naruto versus Pain Fight. And a description will be Naruto finally arrived from, I don't remember the name of the mount, so from maps. All right. Here we can display the price. Usually, what we have so far is that 100 Reapho coins would be something close to $1.2. Uh, we will add some stuffs in here for the future because this is very confusing, we know. But for this episode, I will put like $200, 200 coins. That will be $2.4. And the state will be draft because I want to check my episode later before I publish that definitely. I'll add my pages later. I'll add the thumbnail before, so I go in here and I'll add this thumbnail for this specific episode. Okay, and for my pages, I will add all of them right now. So the way I'm adding them in order just because I wanted, but we can change the order of the files in here. Here we can like drag and drop, so it's not a obligation to add them in order, but I'll keep adding them. By the way, I have Naruto all volumes in here, so despite the fact that it's not a screenshot, maybe I'm able to have something that I already have the physical copy. I'm not really sure, honestly, but this is just for the sake of teaching, so I think we're good, right? All right. So we have all the pages we wanted to map in here. We call this process map here internally. You map each frame based on the sound you wanted to add to be able to display the sound properly across all the pages. But let's show how this stuff works properly. You can save without mapping part, by the way, but let's hit just save. to be redirected to the mapping page. All right, so finally we are on the Reapho mapping tool. The most asked question is how to use these two, and I'll show now how to make it work. We know that it's kind of confusing and we apologize for the delay into bring that to you, but let's get started. First things first, up here you have the details of the work you were working with, and here we have the list of the pages you're working right now by names that we have on the list. So we have the first, second, third, fourth, and so on to page 10. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, all the 10 pages are here. All right. And what we have on the left bar, we have the area creator tool. With this tool, you can select a area, and in this area, you can define a specific sound to be played later. To be able to delete the area, you need to go to the trash can and you enable the deletion and you delete them clicking in here. Area deleted, right? I will deactivate the deletion tool. How the create area works, specifically, you click here, it will draw a line, right? You click in another point, it will pinpoint in here and continue the form to the other point. And when you make the third click, it will just finish. It creates the area based on the panel you draw over. It's good to mention that you don't need to perfectly fit into your panel. For instance, like I don't need to be pixel perfect in this part in here for this panel. It doesn't need to. You can always, and it's recommended actually, to draw them the most you can. So for instance, in here, I don't need to be pixel perfect there. I can left some spaces and I can go all over to here. Oh, wait, here and here. So no need to fit specifically. I can cover more space on the sides or on the upper part. For instance, if I want to create an area that covers this first part and this last part, what I can do is simply that, and it's not a problem. I can just do that, and these two areas will be covered by the two sounds that will be played. The way it is now, it's not a problem. These spaces in here, they are not a problem. Okay, and actually, this is recommended. The less empty spaces you have in your work, the better. And the bigger the areas you have, the better for precision and the users try to listen to the sounds of each panel. So let's delete them. And well, I think I didn't need to delete them actually. So in this specific page, I already have some audio separated in here for me to creating mapping. Let me show how this works. I will create an area here. Okay, area created. And this area is just the whole page. And select the audio you're looking for. Here's my audio. And now I can listen to it if I wanted. All right. We have this sound in here. And what you do is drag and drop this music to this area. So what we are doing is basically creating areas in our comic, in our pages, areas that are tied to our panels. And these areas will hold the sounds. You can later listen to your whole area at once in here. you notice that we have a green line around the square here when the audio is playing, for you to easily understand what is playing and be able to pause that if you don't want to hear that anymore. One another stuff that probably is cool for me to show is that since we can add ambient sound as well, what will happen if I add an ambient sound to the same area? Let's add one ambient sound in here. Okay, I added a wind sound. If I play that, I can hear. Area can have right now two different sounds that will play simultaneously, music, and both of them are meant to play at the same time for the better audio experience. So let's move this sound to this area. Ambient sound, add to the area. When I click in display or display, I hear the audios individually. When I click on this play button here, I'm able to hear the audios simultaneously. Here's the wind. Just a side note, this audio is recorded for the actual anime, so it has some windy at the background. I wasn't able to remove that, sadly, but we can hear the sound of the wind at the background either way when we wait some time after play. It becomes louder. In this part, we can hear that. And here, as I said, you can play the area and pause the area. Hear the wind. Right? On that upper part, we have the sounds that we added on this area. So let's review what we did. We have two sounds separated, added together into one area, represented by that area 1 in here. And with that area here, we can see the sounds for that specific area. Here we have a couple of stuff that we can do. So we can copy area that we can show how it works when we have more than one area in one single page. Later, we have the transition of that area for another one. So, for instance, if we have two separated areas that have two different sounds, and we need a transition between the two audios, instead of make just like a sharp change, we can add a fade of that audio to how it will change to the next area. And on that upper part here, we have that cog. Here we can see some of the configurations specific for that area for your audio. So here we can listen the audio, right? The other audio as well. We can listen to them separated, right? And we can hear both of them together. This is the mixing part of the area that you selected. So we can change this, the volume of that specific audio on the area. Keep in mind that when you make updates in here, you're not changing the base audio. You're changing the audio in your area. It's a fine-grained configuration of audio of the area. So here I will let my music a bit down. So when I hear that, we can see that it's way more quieter. So when we try to hear both of the areas together, we can hear. Let's play it from the start. We can see, we can hear, by the way, right, that the volume of the audio is way more quiet than before. That's not all. sometimes we have a specific audio that we probably want to keep that in loop. So for instance, if we hear our music completely, when it finishes, it will just end, as you can see here. And the audio ends. But if I click in here, I'm saying that this audio should play in loop. It can be very useful if you have just a short audio that you want to keep playing in the background even though it's short. So now, you will hear that the audio restarts after it finishes. We can also select a specific part of the audio. So on Reapho, we didn't expect you to understand how to use audio software. So we have a built-in tool for you to specify exactly where you want the audio to start and end without needing to work with external software. So, for instance, let's make the music audio plays from the part where we have the 3 drums instead of the many not so bass drums. So let's check in here. Here I can change the when my audio starts. So you can see how, like, oh, it's starting on 7, on the second 30. Let's check if it's starting here. So when I hit play, it's a bit further. But let's make it end just 1 second before. 2 seconds. Let's hear that again. And then, when we play all the area, we can hear the change that we made. Of course, that's not what we wanted, so let's keep that stuff in here, adding at 1. We didn't want that to keep looping, but I want the audio of the wind to keep playing. Also, I can change the volume of the whole area. So if the area itself is too loud, I can make it a little bit quieter if I want. So let's change that a bit. So just in here, not so much. And we hit apply. Now, if I play the whole area again, we will see, by the way, we will hear that the area is now configured as the configurations we just did. I think our edition for this page is finished, but let's hit save. To save the thing, you can just click in here, save changes. Saving all your files. We can see the notification in here. We should wait for that stuff to be saved. Otherwise, we can lost all work, right? And let's see how it's happening on the preview page. So I will click in here on the preview button. Here's the reading page. Any users that got to this page will be able to experience the stuff that you did. But since I'm not using my webcam right now, I will use the mouse tool. So just click in here so you can use your mouse to understand where you're looking at instead of your eyes. So when I hover my page, and let's go back to what we were doing. So let's go to the next page. We check here on pages and click on the next one. That's a bigger page. We may want to move some stuff around. So these two moves the canvas. So I can click here and move the canvas around. I can click in here to recentralize my page, and I can change zoom if I hold Ctrl and zoom out if I want to see something bigger or something more detailed. If I want to reset the zoom, I can click in here and the zoom is updated. If I centralize, I got to the step I was in. Let's continue on that stuff. So I can see that on the previous page, let me deactivate this one. I can see that on the previous page, I had something that can fit very well in here. So let's do something. By clicking here, wait, I think I don't want to do that. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, if you're drawing a line and you don't want to continue, oh, I made a mistake, I don't want this line in here, you can just hit the right mouse button and it will just delete. Just like that. So I will go to my previous page, click on my area selected. So I want to copy the music that I had before with the same configurations. So I click in here, audio copy it. So I can go to my next page and I want to use the audio on this page. So let me create the first area. We are seeing the previous area audios in here, but this is a bug. I will notify the team. No worry about that. The stuff is this area, this new area that we just created. Here, with our area, I will click in here to paste the audio that I had. So I pasted the audio of the music. So if I go in here to listen the music that I added, the exact same as we have edited on the previous part. So if you had a edition, like you edited a audio and you want to use that on another page, you can do that very easily, just copying that audio and pasting wherever you want to use that. So in my case, that's what I wanted. And actually, I think that's not what I wanted on the original step. So what I'll do is I will go back in here and update that one. Oh, I didn't click it on my area, so I was in the previous one because the bug that I mentioned. So I know that it starts at 13. So what I'll do is this one will start in here and ends at 13, and I will apply. Now my area starts with that other stuff. And my next area, that is this whole page, will have that other part. Let's go to the next page. Okay, I thought to show how I would map this page specifically, but I don't think it will change too much based on what we already did. So let's jump to the page 9. I think there's more stuff in here. So on this page, we can see that there is some drama happening. What we can do on this part is a bit different. Let's create one area for all these parts. So we will create for this panel, this 2, 3, and 4 panel, but this one will be different. So let's make that. First thing I'll do will be create a, oh, let me hit it, create area tool here and draw a area on this part. This whole area will have the same configuration. But Reapho right now doesn't allow you to have a custom polygon, so you're forced to have just squares. What will happen is that the area, the pink area and the green area, both of them have the same configuration, even though they are different areas. What will change, in fact, will be the third area. Okay, so now we have three different areas on our page. What will happen is, let me open my music and my effects. By the way, the musics and effects that you add to your work are tied to the whole work, not for a single page or episode. So in the end, you can reuse the audios in the further works that you have without much effort. What we will do now is, actually I have another sound effect that I want to add, so it's a music. Oh, wait, this is not supported, my bad. Let me add the music here. So I have the hurricane music from Naruto, and I'll add that on this area and on this another area. Reapho has a built-in intelligence that if you have the same music playing on two different areas, but different background sounds, what will happen is that the music will continue, even though the effect will change. So we don't break the reading experience of the user because we have a continuous music on, but changing the background noise. Now, what we have is, and I didn't show these two before, I will show now. We have these two here, that's here, the area. So when I click in here and I hover over my areas, I can hear them. This is very useful when you're experimenting around the work you were doing. So when you change to the next one, you can see that the music continues, even though it's a different area. And you can see on the right panel that I changed there the area that's playing. When I go to the next one, it stopped. But why it stopped so suddenly? Let's fix that. We have here three areas. When I click in one of them, this area is selected. When I click on the other one, this area is selected. Same for the third area. The thing that I want to do here is on the third area, because I want to have a music to fit a mood. But on the last piece, I don't want it anymore. I want silence. What I'll do then is add this wind sound to my area. I will also, in this area and this area, what I will do is to change how it behaves with audios. Here I want ease, here I want ease, and here I want ease as well. So when I hear that, didn't work it. I think we have a bug on the transition steps. But luckily we are on the test phase, so keep in mind that we may have some other bugs and we count on you guys to bring these bugs for us to fix them and make these two a way better tool for usage. So the transition is not working, but either way, I wanted to make a transition here for a music, and then suddenly the music goes away, but we hear a wind sound. Some other stuff that I forgot to mention in this tutorial are you can update the name of the sound. So, oh, this sound is I cannot know what this is, so I need to update that. It's not a problem. You can just go in here and type like Naruto entrance music and hit enter. Now I have my new music. I can still play that the same way as always, but now I updated sound. And when you finish all the work, always remember to hit save to not lose your work. Keep in mind that the longer your audios and files, this process may take more and more time. Shorter audios are better. Avoid use like 1 hour long sounds. And other stuff is, if you wanted to delete something in here, or maybe something in here related to the area that I didn't show it yet, you can just click on this trash can and click here to delete a audio. Then on clicking here as well. You can delete a music from this area as well. Just clicking on the trash can and clicking on the trash can. Oh, I forgot about this feature. So basically what's happening is that you cannot delete a audio from your work. That is what's happening here. Like this wind sound effect being used on other pages. Is being used maybe on this page. And we do not allow you to delete a audio from your workspace without deleting them manually from all the pages you're using that. And we made that in a matter of security. Like we wanted you to know that, oh, you're deleting a audio that's being used on other places. If you proceed with that, basically, you will not have this audio on the places you already added. So that's why we make this process very handwork to be used, because we wanted you to make sure that you want to delete that instead of just deleting that from all your work by mistake. And I think that's all that I have for you guys about how Reapho audio management works. It's still a lot of work to be done on our side. I appreciate your time hearing me talking a lot about this stuff. I'm really waiting for further suggestions, and I'll let you guys know when we have some of these bugs fixed. But appreciate your time again. Thank you, and I'll see you guys soon. See you.